Hi, I'm Kerry with Best of Us in Retirement. Also have a channel, Best of Us Investors. And I get a lot of questions. I got a lot of questions when I was a financial advisor. Should I take my pension or should I take the lump sum that they're offering me? Sometimes even people came and said, hey, I've been on the pension, but now the company, General Electric, wants to buy out the pension. What should I do? Well, I think the first two questions that need to be answered are how healthy are you? And do you have an aspiration to leave something to your heirs? Because the pension, the annuity, the monthly payment that they're guaranteeing you for your lifetime is going to go away when you die. So if you say, yes, I want to leave something to my heirs, then the annuity payment will leave nothing, because in essence, the company is betting that you'll die and before they give you the equivalent of your contributions over the years that you and they made to the pension plan. So that's the first question. Two questions I want to answer is, do you have a goal to leave something to your heirs? And two, what is your health? And then, what is your spouse's health? Again, if you take survivor's benefits on your pension, it will pay your survivor spouse for the balance of their life too. But still, when that spouse dies, your children, your grandchildren get nothing. So that's the first question that you have to answer. Then you got to answer, what kind of return is the pension giving me? Now, these pensions are corporate pensions, General Electric, General Motors. General Motors was one that back in 2010 offered some tremendous buyouts, because as they were going bankrupt, they were going to push the pension into a government program and people would get roughly 75% less. So they were trying to liquidate their obligations before bankruptcy. So that comes into a question. Again, what I think I'm telling you is it's a complicated question. Then you put into it, I did a video back, I believe it was October of last year, or maybe it was January, but anyway, it was before the pandemic. And the question of the video was, were the state pensions going bankrupt? Understand that the way a pension works is you make contributions, your employer, whether it's a state, the teachers, or a corporation, makes contributions and puts it aside for you. With the state pensions and the federal pensions, they have some very strict limitations as to how they can invest your money. It's normally, or it was in the past, either in CDs or CD equivalents or bonds, and that was because they were safe. But the most they could get for a return on them was somewhere between 6 and 8%, whereas the S&P returns somewhere between 8 and 10%. So, but they aren't allowed to get in there because their doctrine says that it's too risky of an investment. So as a result, and I'll put this up in the video, this is a map of the United States that shares with you the solvency, if you will, of various state pensions. What does that mean? Well, they have an obligation to pay X amount of dollars. Based on the dollars they have in their pension plan, how much of that obligation can they achieve? And it varies, such as in South Dakota, it's 100%. But in Illinois, it's 38%. And in Kentucky, it's 34%. What does that mean? Well, that means in Kentucky, they have an obligation to pay $100. They have the ability, with the current assets that they have, to pay $34. So in other words, they are insolvent. So if I'm living in Kentucky and I have a Kentucky state pension, I'm looking at it and saying, are they going to bankrupt this thing and they won't have any money for me? Well, if you would have asked me that question in January of 2020, I'd say if Kentucky offered me a lump sum, I'm taking it. I'm getting out. And then I would roll that over into an IRA and invest it in ETFs or mutual funds or self-manage it. And then I would believe that I could achieve a 11% return or a 8% return, as opposed to maybe the 3% than Kentucky is able to get. But more importantly, are they going to go insolvent? I don't think, as based on what I have seen in the interim since last March, they will. We saw the government bail everybody out that got in difficulty as a result of the coronavirus. If we look back further into the 2010 to 2018, General Motors, as I said, and Ford were in difficulty with their pensions, and the government came in and bailed them out. So I don't think they'll go insolvent. I don't think our country will allow them to go insolvent. But more importantly, the question is, you need to analyze, again, answer the question, how healthy am I? What's the prospect that I'm going to live to 90? Okay? If you live to 90 and you're taking a monthly distribution, you're going to beat the pension. If you're 65 and you have cancer, or you have the first stages of Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or something like heart problems, if you're obese and you're eating a lot of Twinkies and drinking a lot of Cokes, you need the lump sum, because you aren't going to live out to get your money out of the pension plan. These are tough decisions, because I know a lot of fat people who don't think they're obese. Oh, I'm healthy. I walk to the mailbox back and forth every day. No. I run 3 miles 4 days a week. And I'm 76 years old. And then I compete in the Senior Olympics in the 100, the 200, and the 50-yard dash, and I'm the fastest old man in Alabama. That's healthy. I don't take any pills. I have cancer in my family, but we'll talk about that another time. I think they're going to find a cure for it. So that's the decision you need to make. Who do you get to make that decision for you? Well, you don't depend upon me. I would say if this is a real issue, then consult a financial advisor, as I was. I was a CFP. That would be an indication to me. If I was talking to a financial advisor, one of the first questions I would ask is, what sort of designations do you have? And if he says, oh, I don't have any designations, then I don't want you as a financial advisor. That's like asking a doctor, what kind of degree do you have? Oh, I don't have a degree. I just or specialty. I just graduated from, and I have not got any designations. I don't want them as a doctor. I want someone who is going to continue their education after they graduate from with their degree, because I don't care if it's financial planning or it's dentistry or it's medicine. The world is changing, and you need to keep up with it. And if you aren't willing to pursue an education in your field of study, then I don't want to work with you. I just don't want to. So, okay, so I decide, all right, I'm going to hire this guy to do an analysis of the pros and cons of taking the lump sum or taking the annuity. And again, in my case, there is no way in hell I would take an annuity. I just believe I can manage the money better than they can. I don't have the restraints that they have. I can invest in anything that I want, and I want to leave something to my heirs. And that's how it works. Has it worked out for me? Well, in 2019, I got I think it was a 31% return on my portfolio. In 2020, I got a 60%. Thus far this year, I believe I'm up about 22%. And I believe the second part of the year is going to be better than the first. So I think I'll get a 50% return on my investment. Nita and I have more money now than we ever have. I mean, if you would have told me when I worked for Purex back in, when was that? 1967? I didn't know the difference between a 401k, a 403b, a pension plan, or anything like that. But I educated myself. And that's what you need to do. And using YouTube is a good start. But if you can get a good financial advisor that is educated and continues his education, and you can ask him, don't go in there saying, I want to turn everything over to you. Let him or her prove to you that you'd be better off with them helping you. And you should walk away every time you meet with them and say, I learned something I didn't know. He or she is a valuable asset to my current situation. Okay, so I wish I could give you a cut and dry answer, lump sum or pension, monthly check. Again, the first thing is, what are your goals? Do you want to leave something? And second, what is your health? And that'll give you the next question. And that is, what kind of return can I expect if I take that lump sum? And what amount of work am I willing to put into it to get that better return? If you believe you can get better than 6%, that's all your pension's going to pay you, is based on a 6% return. But if you believe you can do it better, then you want the lump sum, and you want to leave that initial amount, because they don't grow. You want to leave that to your heirs. Okay, that's my take. And again, if you've got some other questions, put them in the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to be notified when I do other videos, go to, let's see, if you want to be then ring the bell. And then if you want to contemplate, okay, maybe I do want to manage my own money, then go over to Best of Us Investors and join our tribe, a group of people who work together to make better investment decisions, and we'll grow together. It's not that tough if you're willing to put forth the work and study. Okay, that's my take today. Enjoy your retirement. Do remember what I believe, and that is, retirement is not game over. Retirement is the second half of your life. And this is when you win. This is when you take everything you learned in the first half and apply it to the second half and make your life so much better and so much more enjoyable, because now you're in control. It's not your boss. It's not your supervisor. It's not some major corporation or some government or whatever. It's you. And you can make it whatever you want it to be. Talk to you again soon.